right, guys, welcome back. So we have some interesting stuff here when it comes to the Activision Blizzard acquisition by Xbox, and it has to do with the research that the CMA did, which was very similar research that Chile did with their looking at PlayStation gamers and how this is going to affect the PlayStation market. And it's interesting because they used the same methodology but came to the exact opposite conclusion. So we have a summary here from IDAS, and we have it here on Twitter with IdleSloth, and we'll just take a look at what it says. It says, I just read the PlayStation Gamer research, and I think that it is very interesting how the results are quite similar to the survey from FNE in Chile, and that's their regulatory body. It says, but the decisions differ. The CMA believes that it must be assigned qualified evidential weight, and it says in the summary provisional findings that the level of switching in this analysis, 24%, which indicates that a significant proportion of all PlayStation gamers would switch away from the platform, suggests that PlayStation gamers would be affected by not having access to Call of Duty, notwithstanding the availability of other games on PlayStation. So they're looking at this from the CMA's perspective, and they're saying 24% is too big of a number that can be risked for market competition, that gamers that would switch away from PlayStation and go to Xbox or go to PC or maybe go to the Nintendo Switch, who knows. And to them, that shows a big deal with the fact that this is going to create a huge advantage for Xbox, especially if they're able to put Call of Duty within their subscription service into Xbox Cloud Gaming. It is going to give Xbox too big an advantage. That's what the CMA has pretty much ruled right now with their provisional findings. But it goes on here and says, meanwhile, the survey from the FNE in Chile showed that only 22% would opt out to switch to another device. So right there, the difference between Chile's survey and the CMA survey was 2%. So they're essentially the same number. They're essentially the same amount of people that would be switching off of PlayStation if this deal went through to go play Call of Duty somewhere else, go play it on Xbox or PC or whatever. The FNE also believes that the survey must be assigned qualified evidential weight, but 22% is evidence enough that only a small percentage of PlayStation users would switch to Xbox or PC. So right there, they're more specific with their analysis. They are specifically looking at switching from PlayStation to Xbox or PC, whereas with the CMA, it would just they basically just said people who would switch off of PlayStation because they won't be having access to Call of Duty. So there's a couple of things here. Like I said, 24 versus 22%, not a significant difference in numbers. And at the same time, they're still asking PlayStation gamers this question without taking into account that Microsoft and Xbox have offered 10 years of Call of Duty on the platform. I wonder what the answers would be if they went up to the PlayStation gamers and said, Call of Duty is going to be on PlayStation for 10 more years. Does this concern you? And knowing this, would you switch over to Xbox next year or the year after? Or would you wait and see what your decision is going to be after 10 years? And waiting 10 years, I mean, so many things can change. That's why it's such a huge deal that they didn't take this into account, because 10 years offering a game to stay on your rival platform is pretty much saying that it's going to be there essentially for enough time that when the market does change and when the market is in a place where they can add new stuff to their subscription service in the sense that PlayStation can continue to grow out their PlayStation Plus. They'll have 10 years to actually go and make a competition for Call of Duty, make a competitor first-person shooter. So much can change. Call of Duty may not even be the most popular shooter within 10 years. And that's why it's such a big deal. I wonder what the answer would be if you presented the question as 10 years on PlayStation, would you consider still switching to Xbox or PC anytime within those 10 years? And I feel like a lot of people would probably be like, well, no, it's still going to be there. Who cares? We're still going to be able to access and play the game. Our lives aren't going to change. So no, I probably wouldn't switch. I feel like the number would definitely be different. Continues on here, says 24% versus 22%. In one case, it's evidence of a significant number of switchers. In the other case, the contrary. The thing is, so this part's key, the thing is that the surveys use the same methodology because the FNE in Chile said that the guidelines of the Competition and Markets Authority of the United Kingdom were followed as established in its guide of May 2018 on good practice in the design and presentation of customer survey evidence in merger cases. So Chile looked at the CMA and they followed their guidelines for conducting this PlayStation gamer research. Yet they come to completely opposite conclusions from this research. You have the CMA saying 24% is too much. It will be bad for consumers. It will hurt competition. You have Chile saying 22% isn't that much, and this is fine. Let's approve the deal. And what I find interesting here is some of these statistics that I looked up. Now, these statistics, you got to take them with a grain of salt. I'm not sure how exactly accurate they are, but we have this website here, GS StatCounter. And if you go to their FAQs, they say that they update their stats, their global stats, I believe every single day at 1 p.m. So it's something that is continuously updated, and that they say that you can actually use these statistics. I'm just trying to find it here. You can use these statistics for your blog, your website, your paper, your project, your book. It says, sure, at StatCounter Global Stats, we license our work out under the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike 3.0 unported license. This means that you are welcome to use any information provided by StatCounter Global Stats, but please ensure to credit us with a link or wherever. And the methodology that they use is that they say your StatCounter is a web analytics service. Our tracking code is installed on more than 1.5 million sites globally. These sites cover various activities and geographic locations. And every month we record billions of page views to these sites. For each page view, we analyze the browser operating system, screen resolution used, and we establish if the page view is from a mobile device. For our search engine stats, we analyze every page viewed referred by the search engine. So basically, they're just going over their methodology, and they're able to track whether people, I guess, are visiting websites via the PlayStation or the Xbox. And we take a look at the global stat counter. Now, this is the breakup of the market in Chile as of January 2023, and PlayStation right now, according to this, is dominating 98.55%, Xbox at 1.45%. So 22% of those gamers, yeah, it really is nothing, because PlayStation will still have a large lead in competition in the market, and the competition still really isn't very big there from Xbox. Then we go over here and we look at, well, that's South America. So overall in South America, it's a lot closer, 56% for PlayStation, 43% for Xbox. But here's where it gets interesting. With the United Kingdom, as of January 2023, 65% for PlayStation, 34% for Xbox. So 24%, you take off 24%, and that would have a big swing in that market where potentially Xbox could take a big jump and maybe at some point surpass PlayStation. Now, maybe that's why they're looking at these numbers and they want to preserve. This is obviously just conspiracy. I have no idea if this is the reasoning why, but you look at that and you think maybe they want to preserve PlayStation's lead in the United Kingdom market, and they think that if there's a 24% change, that completely shifts around the market where Xbox is essentially going to be leading and PlayStation isn't going to be anymore. So they rule different in terms of looking at those statistics. So I don't know, but it's just interesting to see how much closer the competition is in the United Kingdom versus in Chile, and then how their answers and their conclusions from the PlayStation research completely different. But I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think about this stuff. Do you think it really means anything? You think I'm looking too far into it, or do you think that it's just because of the difference in the markets as to why they have to look at these statistics differently? If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Bye.